kick off the blushing guys and bring in the overprotective guys, because these guys are like an antivirus. Okay, that metaphor sucked. Anyways, here are the 10 romance anime where the guy is overprotective of the girl. Let's go. Let's start off with a fairy tale. In the kingdom of Highland, fairies lose their freedom when humans steal their wings, using them to keep control. 15-year-old Anne Halford wants to follow in her late mother's footsteps and become a silver sugar master. She heads to the capital's Royal Candy Fair with one goal: to win a royal medal for her silver sugar treat. Along the way, she hires Xiao Fen Xiao, a warrior fairy she saved, to protect her, and promises to return his stolen wing once they reach the city. If you like shoujo with drama and everyday moments mixed in, this show is a great pick. Anne is stubborn and hopeful, which makes her way more fun to watch than a typical hero. Xiao's mysterious side adds a cool twist, and the funny characters around them keep things fresh. The animation looks great too, bright and smooth, and fits the whole fairy tale vibe of the show. 2 seasons are up, so give this one a go.
貴様も少しでも楽に死にたいのなら私にひれ伏せ震え上がり命乞いをしてみせろ
Did your granny ever teach you the anime version of Beauty and the Beast? At the edge of the world lies the beast-run kingdom of Osmargo, where keeping peace means sending a human sacrifice every year. Sarifi, this time sacrifice, isn't some scared girl. She meets her fate head-on. The mysterious Beast King gets curious, invites her to her palace, and decides to go the Disney route.
王様は強い。誰よりも。そんな王様の生贄になれて私は嬉しい。
What hooked me was how Sarifi breaks the usual helpless sacrifice cliche. Honestly, I went to this show thinking she would just be another generic female character, but man, she is pretty interesting to watch. She doesn't sit and wait to be saved, she uses her smarts and courage to shake up the Beast Kingdom. The romance between her and King Leo isn't some simple story, because you get this whole tough political stuff that makes things more intense with each passing episode. I know, I joke saying this is a clone of Beauty and the Beast, but it's actually like a genetically improved clone.
では左で。
そうじゃない。
お気になさらないでください。僕はリリチオ様をお守りするためにあるのですから。
Demon boys and human girls. The formula never gets old. Riichiro Shirakin comes from a rich family, but is tired of being the snobby girl who can't talk to people normally. So she moves into a strange high-security apartment called Mason de Ayakashi, where half-human, half-yokai creatures live. But there's a catch. She has to have a Secret Service agent watching her all the time. That agent is Soshi Mikitsukami, who is super clingy and way too eager to protect her. And to make matters worse, she has some pretty weird neighbors.
遅くなり申し訳ありません。リリチオ様に銃口を向けました。
The show hits a great mix of romance and comedy, with enough weird moments to keep you interested, or make you feel creepy. These days, it's either one of the two. The animation switches between cool and goofy styles that make the jokes funnier. Characters like Ririchio and Karuta are pretty unique, and Soshi's over-the-top protectiveness, mixing in with Ririchiro's don't-give-a-damn attitude, gives the whole romance a fun twist.
なんかドキドキする。
は？
俺、雫が好きかも。
え？それは友達的な意味で。
性的な意味で。
Shizuku Mizutani is all about studying and couldn't care less about making friends, until Haru Yoshida crashes onto her world. Haru's your good old delinquent, but beneath his wild attitude, he's just as awkward around people as Shizuku. He immediately calls her his friend and even admits he likes her by kissing her right in the first episode. Shizuku hates him at first, but slowly starts to open up to him.
この間は助けに来てくれてありがとう。嬉しかった。
I know this looks like a typical shoujo anime, but you gotta watch it to realize it's not your usual love story. The characters aren't just the same old types. Haru's loud but smart personality and Shizuku's slow change make their story interesting instead of boring. And Haru is your typical bad boy who doesn't like anyone hurting his girl. So that's why this fits this topic perfectly.
お前の答えは？
それはいわば自分の物語。
Shirayuki is a red-haired herbalist living in the kingdom of Tanbarun. When Prince Raji, a guy who doesn't understand boundaries, tries to make her his concubine, she says no and runs into the forest. Then Zen, the second prince of a nearby Clarnace, shows up just in time to help her out. Shirayuki follows him to his kingdom, hoping to work as the court herbalist and get a fresh start.
随分と執念深い紳士のようだな。
ね。
笑い事じゃない。
Now, you don't see seven dwarves around here, and Snow White doesn't have the hair of color of snow. At least that would be obvious from the title. But everything else gives you that perfect Disney Kingdom fairy tale vibe. Shirayuki might look like a damsel in distress, but she's brave, kind, and stubborn, and still more wholesome than Asundre. Zen struggles with royal pressure, making him feel more relatable and serious. So if you want a romance that's easygoing yet interesting, this one's worth checking out.
なんかいっつも助けてもらってるね私。ありがとう。
Takeo Goda is a high schooler who looks like a WWE wrestler. Big, strong, and not someone you want to mess with. But underneath all that muscle, he's actually a total softie with a heart of gold. Takeo's best buddy, Makoto Tsunakawa, is way more popular and seems to get all the girls, even the ones Takeo likes. Then Takeo saves Rinko Yamato from a creep, and suddenly he's totally smitten. But unlike the other girls, Rinko starts to get feelings for our big boy.
当たりを1個入れておいたの。当たり。 This show nails the rom-com style with funny moments and sweet romance without trying to be anything fancy. No crazy fights, no superheroes, just everyday stuff. I was surprised to see the shoujo tag in here because most shoujo anime lean towards creating this perfect male character or bad boy. And when a show like this comes along and breaks the formula, it's gonna stand out compared to 99% of shows out there.
工藤家当主工藤清香だ。
綺麗な人。
You think your life sucks? Well, meet Mio Saimori, whose family falls apart after her mom died. Her step-family treats her like she's invisible, while her half-sister gets all the attention and love. Just when you think things can't get any worse, her dad surprises her with a new engagement to Kiyoka Kudo, the cold and mysterious head of a powerful family who doesn't exactly have this beautiful past.
私がお前にここにいてほしいんだ。他の誰でもなく。
This show does the whole traditional marriage stuff really well. Mio's painful past doesn't disappear once she gets close to Kiyoka. It shows how healing takes tons of time and hard work. The mystery mix and supernatural stuff keeps it exciting, and the animation is some delicious icing on the cake. But you know what's better than anything? There are no high schoolers. Man, you high school anime writers need to chill out and write something like this once in a while.
お前のピンチと聞いて飛んできてやったぞ。高みの見物にな。
We're back again with another girl who has bad luck. Inami Momozono's life takes a nosedive after her dad's huge debt leaves her with nowhere to live. Just when things seem hopeless, she saves a strange guy from a dog attack and ends up inheriting his old shrine. But here's the twist. People think she's a land god and drag her into all these divine responsibilities along with a stubborn fox spirit named Tomoe who's stuck being her familiar.
助けてほしいのだろう。愚かな私めをお許しください。巴様と泣いて頼めば助けてやらんこともないぞ。
Now, you might have watched the first episode and think, what the hell? This doesn't have an overprotective guy. It's a complete opposite. But hold your horses and other animals and actually wait till the middle of the season. Our stubborn fox spirit starts to feel less stubborn when he starts to fall in love. Even though the series is short, it doesn't rush, and the story wraps up nicely. This is one of my favorite shoujo animes, so you're gonna love it.
なんか会長見てると
やば。
危なっかしいんだよね。
やるな。
Misaki Ayuzawa is the super determined student council president at a school that just started letting girls in. She's on a mission to make things fair for the girls, which means bossing around the guys, earning her the nickname Demon President. Then there's Takumi Usui, the most popular bad boy who's both mysterious and charming. When Usui finds out Misaki works secretly at a maid cafe, he starts showing up just to tease her, because which man could say no to maids?
会長って実は M？
なんでお前がいいんだよ。
自分追い込むの好きそうだから。ああ S でもあるか。
はあ？ There's nothing like seeing a fiery student council president put in a tough spot, and that's exactly what this show's formula does. The ups and downs between Misaki and Usui are full of teasing, awkward moments and hidden feelings that slowly turn romantic. Usui's mix of teasing and caring is what makes him awesome, and one of the best anime guys out there. Plus, the art keeps that classic shoujo look fresh. And once again, who could say no to an anime with maids? This is probably the 7 millionth time I'm finishing a list with this anime, but I love it. It's one of my favorite animes, so I'm gonna keep recommending it until I rest in my grave. Toru Honda's life flips upside down when she becomes homeless and ends up living on the Soma family's land. But here's the twist. The Somas have a weird curse. Hug someone of the opposite sex and they turn you into animals from the zodiac. When Toru moves in, she gets caught up in their crazy family drama, especially between the fiery Kyo and the cool Yuki. If you've watched the old show, watching the remake feels like catching up with an old show, but better. The characters aren't just simple, you get why they feel the way they do, especially when Kyo shows his softer side around Toru. If you stick around to the middle of the first season, the drama starts to kick in, and that's when you realize this is one of the best romance drama anime out there. 10 out of 10, no complaints.